Hello friends, in today's video, let us learn about energy production in stars or stellar energy. So, stars emit a huge amount of heat energy as well as light energy, and the tremendous amount of energy comes neither from chemical process nor from any gravitational process. The reason for the energy production in stars is actually nuclear fusion. So we know the closest star near to our Earth is Sun. In the case of Sun, the amount of energy released per second is 3.8 into 10 raised to 26 joules of energy per each second. So this huge amount of energy actually comes from the nuclear fusion process happening within the Sun. So how does this nuclear fusion proceeds within a star? What is the mechanism of this nuclear fusion process? So scientist Bethe suggested one process that could happen within the Sun and other stars for energy production. And first let us learn one of the mechanisms of energy production within Sun, which is often called carbon-nitrogen cycle. So if you look at the process that is happening in a carbon-nitrogen cycle, we see a carbon nuclei is involved in this process. So first, a carbon nuclei, which is a 6C12 nucleus, will combine with a proton to form a nitrogen and emitting a positron and a neutrino. So first of all, let us write the first reaction. So in the first process, carbon nucleus will be fusing together with a proton to form 7n13. So 6C12 plus 1H1 will be yielding 7n13, releasing a huge amount of energy which is in the form of gamma radiations in the first step. This nitrogen formed is radioactive. This nitrogen is radioactive and it will decay in a beta decay process. It will undergo a beta decay, emitting a positron and neutrino. So if I write that reaction, the second reaction that is happening, it is the beta decay of 7n13, which emits a positron. And what is the product that is formed? If a positron and a neutrino is emitted in this beta decay process, the nitrogen will be converted into 6C13. So you can write that step as 7n13 will be converted into 6C13, releasing a positron which is 1E0 plus a neutrino plus some gamma radiations. So this is the second process that is happening, which is the beta decay of 7n13, which is highly unstable. So then we have this 6C13 in our hands in the Sun. Now what will happen to this carbon isotope? This carbon isotope will be combining with another proton or hydrogen nucleus present in the Sun. So you can see here a carbon and a proton are coming together to form a 7n14. So if I write that reaction, how will that look like? 6C13, the product of the earlier reaction, combining with hydrogen which is available in plenty in the Sun, 1H1. What is the result? 7n14, and releasing a huge amount of energy in the form of gamma radiations. Now we have 7n14 in our hands in this reaction process, and this nitrogen will again combine with another proton, so to form an 8-oxygen-15 isotope. So how will that reaction look like? It will be 7n14, the product of earlier reaction, combining with a proton which is 1H1 to form an oxygen isotope, 8-oxygen-15, releasing a huge amount of energy in the form of gamma radiations. So this is the fourth step in this process. Now what will happen to 8-oxygen-15? It is again radioactive, just like this 7 and 13. 8-oxygen-15 is unstable and it will again undergo a beta decay process emitting positron and a neutron. So if I write that equation, the radioactive decay of 8-oxygen-15, it will be 8-oxygen-15 getting converted into 7 and 15. The product is 7 and 15. So it will be converted into 7 and 15, releasing a positron, which is 1e0 plus a neutron. So now we have 7 and 15 in our hands in the reaction process, and what will happen? It will combine with again another proton, and in that reaction a carbon nucleus and a helium nucleus will be formed. So if I write that reaction, it will be 7n15 combining with a proton to form a carbon nucleus 6e12 plus a helium nucleus 2he4. So these are the steps that are happening in the carbon-nitrogen cycle. Initially we had a carbon nucleus, which is a C12, which is combining with a proton to form 7 and 13. It is highly radioactive. It will undergo beta emission to form carbon 13. The carbon 13 will combine with another proton to form 7 and 14. It will again combine with another proton to form oxygen 15, which is unstable and will undergo beta emission. It will emit a positron and a neutrino, thus getting converted into 7 and 15, which will again combine with another proton to form the final products, which is the helium as well as a carbon nucleus. So in this process, you can see initially we had one carbon nucleus which is being used in this process, but finally that carbon is evolving out. So no carbon is getting consumed in this process. Carbon just acts like a catalyst in this process. So it makes path for other reactions to happen. It just gets entered into the cycle and gets out of the cycle unaffected. So if you look at the overall process that is happening in this reaction, you can see who all are getting consumed in this reaction. So this middle thread that is going like this carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, that cycle, that is not actually getting consumed in this reaction. Initial carbon nucleus is getting evolved out after the reaction. So if you look at what are the parties that are getting consumed in this reaction, we can see one proton here, the second proton is here, the third proton is here, the fourth proton is here. I call it proton because a hydrogen nucleus is simply a proton. So you can call it a hydrogen nucleus or you can call it simply as a proton. So in this process, 4 protons or 4 hydrogen nucleus are combined. Now what are the products of this reaction? What comes out of this reaction? In this process, finally we get a helium nucleus. A carbon is also formed in this reaction, but since carbon also enters into the reaction, we will not be considering that. Carbon is just acting like a catalyst. So the product is a helium nucleus. Then we have 2 positrons being emitted in between the reactions and 2 neutrinos being emitted in between the reactions. So how can I write the overall reaction process? So if I write the overall reaction process, it will be just 4 1H1. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hydrogen nucleus is getting combined to form finally a helium nucleus 2He4, and 2 positrons are emitted in this reaction, 2 neutrinos are emitted in this reaction, and a huge amount of energy is released in this reaction. So this is the overall process that is happening when we consider a carbon-nitrogen cycle. Here carbon acts like a catalyst and it leaves out of the reaction unaffected. So how energy is released in this reaction? So if you look at the loss in mass in this process, if you calculate the initial mass that you have for 1H1 nucleus will weigh approximately 4.031300 AMU, and one helium nucleus will weigh approximately 4.002603 AMU. So you can see here the mass that we initially have is not getting out from the products that we have. Some mass is getting lost in this nuclear reaction process. So if you calculate the difference in mass, you also have to consider the mass of positron. So the mass of two positrons is given by, which is very small, which is approximately 0.001098. So the products has a mass of 4.002603 plus the mass of positron, and initial mass is 4.031300. So if you calculate the loss in mass, the loss in mass will be difference between the initial mass and the final mass, which can be calculated to be 0.02756 AMU. So if mass defect is this much, what will be the energy released? Energy release will be given by the Einstein's relation, and it can be calculated to be equal to 0.02756 multiplied by 931. You can either use 931.5 or 931.3 or 931. In your textbooks, in different occasions, different constants, different values are used. So it will give you 27.5 mega electron volt. So in each nuclear fusion process happening in the sun, like 4 protons combining to form one helium nucleus emitting 2 positrons and 2 neutrinos and a huge amount of energy, 27.5 MeV is the energy released in each of the reaction. So this energy is released at the expense of some of the mass that is lost in the nuclear fusion process. And if you look into different data that we have in our hands, it is found that in 1 million years, the sun loses about 10 raised to minus 7 of its mass due to nuclear fusion process and the mass defect. This mass is being converted into energy in the nuclear fusion process. So if you calculate considering the current mass of the sun and the current age of the sun, if those two factors are taken into account, then it is found that with the current rate of consumption of mass, sun will keep going on for another 30 billion years based on the amount of consumption of mass within the sun. So this is how the carbon nitrogen oxygen cycle, the CNO cycle or carbon nitrogen cycle, sometimes it is called CNO cycle because the oxygen is involved in this nuclear reaction process. So this is how the reaction proceeds. So you can try to study this picture and try to learn how to write the reaction based on this picture. I think this flow chart is easier to study, and from the flow chart you can try to develop these equations by understanding what is the reaction that is happening there. So these are the reactions that are given in your textbooks. You can try writing them by looking at the flow chart. Now moving on to the next part, another process that is happening within the sun that is giving out a lot of energy is the proton-proton cycle. So in the proton-proton cycle, 2 protons, which is 1H1 nucleus. So let us first look at one of the halves of this reaction. So if you look at the upper part, you can see here initially we have two protons, and two protons combine together to form a deuterium 1H2, and this 1H2 will be combining with another proton to form 2He3. So as you can see, 2He3 is the product that we get. At the same time, another process is happening. The same process is happening to some other nuclei. Here also, initially we have two protons. These two protons combine to form a deuterium, which is 1H2. And 1H2 will again combine with another proton to form a 2He3, a helium isotope. And if two helium He3 isotopes from two separate reactions come together, they will yield a helium-4 by emitting two hydrogen nucleus or two protons. So how does this reaction proceed? There are two branches that are happening simultaneously. In one, both the branches have same reactions. Two protons combining to form, proton and proton combining to form a deuterium. Deuterium again combining with another proton to form a helium isotope, which is 2He3. And this helium isotope will combine with another helium isotope coming through same reaction process to form 2He4, releasing two more protons. So if you look into the overall process that is happening, you can see how many number of protons are being consumed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 protons are being consumed in this reaction. But at the product side, we get 2 protons. 2 protons are evolved out through this reaction. So effectively we can say 4 protons are being consumed in this reaction. Actually 6 are consumed and 2 are produced. So if you take the net value, 4 protons are being consumed and 1 helium is being produced. So if I write the overall reaction, so these are the reactions that we have mentioned in the previous slide. First process is combining together of proton and proton to form deuterium. So that is the first step here. 1H1 plus 1H1 gives 1H2 and a positron and a neutron. Then the second step is 1H2 combining with a 1H1 to form 2He3. So 1H2 plus 1H1 to form 2He3 plus some amount of energy. Then 2He3 will combine with another 2He3 coming through the same process to form a helium, 2 protons and a huge amount of energy. So if you balance out the various processes happening here and finally formulate the overall reaction, then as we have mentioned, 4 protons is being consumed, and on the product side we have 1 helium nucleus. So overall process is the same as we have seen in the carbon nitrogen oxygen cycle, which is 4 hydrogen nucleus combining to form 2He4 plus 2 positrons plus 2 neutrino plus a lot of gamma rays and a lot of energy. So the same process is happening in the CNO cycle and the proton-proton cycle. The only difference is that in the CNO cycle, in the carbon nitrogen cycle, carbon is acting like a catalyst in between the reaction. The overall reaction is just 4 protons combining to form a helium, and in the proton-proton cycle, the protons are directly involved in the reaction. The overall process is just the same as in CNO cycle. So this is how energy is produced in Sun as well as various stars. There are 2 different nuclear fusion processes, 2 different mechanisms. One is the carbon-nitrogen cycle and the second one is the proton-proton cycle. So we have gone through the various reactions that are happening in these mechanisms. I hope this is clear for you. Thank you.